Heart Coach, and welcome to another segment of Heart Talk. I'm so thankful to be here with you. I love my Heart Tribe. I really appreciate y'all, and I'm so excited that we are growing heart equity together. What is heart equity? Personal, relational, and financial wealth through authentic living. That's how we obtain our personal wealth, our wealth within ourselves and surrounding ourselves, the relational wealth, which I believe truly drives the financial wealth. And I'm really excited about today because as we get ready to go into Christmas, close out the year, go into the new year, one thing I am reminded of is how much fear has controlled so many of our lives. And I wanted to get on today and encourage you and support you and really beckon you to lean into the things that are causing you fear and start to do a lot of work around those things and decide how do you want to navigate the rest of this year and 2025 with strength, with poise, and most of all with a peace that surpasses all understanding. This morning in my prayer time, I was praying, and I started praying about a situation that's going on in my personal life. And this situation has been going on for a very long time. And one of the things that I was reminded of when I was praying, first of all, I was surprised. I was really surprised that I was praying for God to heal and just I guess, blossom this particular relationship or these relationships in my family. And in that moment, God reminded me of the importance of doing heart work and how intricate heart work is. For those of you who do not know, some of you who do, when I talk about heart, it's an acronym. And the H stands for honesty, healing and honesty. The E stands for enlightenment and education. Enlightenment and education. The A stands for authenticity and advocacy. The R stands for revitalization or restoration. The T stands for transformation. And when I talk about doing hard work, I believe that when you put all of those things together, you really find yourself, you really find yourself in a position of growing and cultivating heart equity, which is personal, relational, and financial wealth through authentic living. I believe that when we do not deal with the pain, the fear, the doubt, the worry that we go through in our lives, I truly believe that what happens is we're robbing ourselves of wealth. We're robbing ourselves of joy. We're robbing ourselves of peace. We're robbing ourselves of success because painful living, hello, Heart Tribe. How y'all doing? Come on in. I'm heading into my office. We having a Christmas celebration today, so I got my little Christmas attire on. So I believe that when we do not do our work, when we allow fear to control us, doubt and worry to consume us, what happens is we live a very poverty-stricken life. And sometimes you can have a lot of money in the bank, but you still live in a poverty-stricken life because you can't enjoy it. Because you always insecure, you always angry, you wondering if people like you, if they love you, if they really want you for who you are, or if they just want you for what you have to give to them or what you have to offer. And so when we start doing heart work, we can get down to the core of the matter. We can start to peel away the onions, and we can find out the layers of the onion, and we can find out who's real and who's not. And we can also be able to address the facts, the places in our lives where we're not showing up, right? And I want to encourage you as we close out this year. I know a lot of people are getting caught up when it comes to Christmas time and getting all the gifts under the tree. But one thing I have learned now that my children are older, they remember some of the gifts, But the gifts that they remember the most are the gifts that are surrounded with the memories that they have with us. Like they remember the gifts that they have memories with their parents or with their siblings. Like it's a lot of things that I stressed about trying to buy my kids and trying to get for them when they were younger that they don't even remember. But there are things that I don't remember that they do because they were so special to them. It was so sentimental. And so I just want to encourage you to lean into your fears. When I was a young mother, I was very afraid of messing up my children. When I was a young mother, I was very afraid of doing to my children what was done to me. And what that did was it caused me in many situations to do a lot of the same things that were done to me to my children because I did not heal. Just because you don't want to hurt somebody don't mean you're not going to hurt them. Just because you don't want to be petty don't mean you're not being petty. Just because you don't just because you have good intentions on the surface, sometimes when you really start to do your hard work, you realize your intentions aren't as pure as you thought. And so this morning I was praying for this situation in my life because there's somebody in my family that is definitely extended family, is blended family, and it's just somebody that I really don't deal with like that, right? I mean, I don't dislike the person, but I definitely don't like their ways. And it has been a challenge to deal with this person over the years, and it has been many years that I've been dealing with this individual. And when I was in prayer this morning, I was praying for all of us, just the whole situation. And one of the things that came to me was sometimes you can be so hurt and so frustrated with a situation that your heart is hard. And once your heart gets hard, it's really difficult for God to be able to work in your life. Like you might wonder why you praying and you want things to work out in your life, and it just seems like they're not working out and things not going your favor, things not going your way. But what I have learned is sometimes you are the reason why things aren't going your way. Sometimes you are the reason why your prayers aren't being answered. You know why? Because you haven't forgiven someone. You still holding a grudge. You're still upset. You're still angry with them. And because of that, you don't realize some of the things you trying to get done in your life, some of the things you trying to make happen, they ain't never going to happen because it's not going to happen until you let that go. And that's really hard for some of us. It's really hard for some of us to embrace the idea like, wow, I need to let that go. Wow, I need to walk away from this situation. Wow, I don't need to be right. I just need to create an atmosphere so that peace can abound in this situation. I don't need to get so caught up in people knowing my side. I need to be way more intentional about being a peaceful person in this situation, right? And I said don't allow fear to control you, because what I have found is that usually when we are holding a grudge, when we are in offense, when we are in unforgiveness with someone, you may be very justified. This person could have done a lot of stuff to you. They could have raised a lot of hell in your life. This person could have caused you a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of loss, a lot of heartache, a lot of pain. Okay, because in this situation I'm talking about, yes. And God reminded me this morning that I don't need to be afraid to let that go. Sometimes people can hurt you so bad, you feel like you got to hold on to the situation because somebody got to stand up for you. Nobody else stood up for you. You feel like you got to it's almost like you just standing there holding a low sign like, don't play with me. You played with me long enough. Don't play with me. But I believe from my own personal experience in doing hard work and working with my clients over the years, that attitude, that I call it a defense mechanism. That defense mechanism of I got it together, don't come my way, I don't play with you, I'm not that type of person. That is a defense mechanism where you're trying to protect yourself from getting hurt anymore. It's like damage control. It's like, you have hurt me enough. I have tried enough. This situation is not working out. So this is how I'm choosing to deal with you in this situation. And what I have found is that is usually a product of, I was hurt before, I don't want to be hurt again. And I just want to let you know, especially those of you that are believers in Christ, and even if you don't believe in Jesus, I just want to let you know that Jesus is a healer. Like the Holy Spirit is a comforter, and it will come and it will comfort you, and it will reveal to you things. The Holy Spirit will reveal to you yourself. And sometimes I have to cry. Sometimes I have to go and apologize to people because God reveals to me how much I've allowed fear, false evidence appearing real, how much I've allowed fear to control my life. And what does it look like when fear is controlling your life? You live very limited. You're very skeptical. When fear is controlling your life, you make safe decisions, right? You want to manage your risk, right? When fear is controlling your life, you're afraid to try new things. When fear is controlling your life, you don't want to express yourself authentically because you don't want people to judge you. When fear is controlling your life, you're afraid to tell the truth. So you operate in a lie so that you can make other people comfortable while you stay uncomfortable. Or you do make others uncomfortable, but you're not honest and truthful about why you're doing what you're doing. Hello, hello, Heart Tribe. Come on in. Come on in. So when fear is controlling your life, you're not. When fear is controlling your life, you are not living to your fullest capacity. When fear is controlling your life, you are not bossing up. You could be working, but it's like you on a hamster wheel. You're not getting any place because as long as you're trying to please everybody else, guess who's going to be unpleased? Guess who's going to be discontented? You. Yes, Danielle, I'm telling you, we have to be in a situation where we're saying, look, I'm not going to allow fear to control me. I'm not going to allow what happened in the past to control how I'm showing up right now in the current, in the present. Because tomorrow is history. No, no, no. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. But many of us are living in bondage. We are hostage to yesterday, so we cannot appreciate the gift of the present. And what I'm telling you is the only way that your past will not repeat itself is if you're willing to confront it. The only way your past will not repeat itself is if you're willing to confront it. And you have to be willing to confront the intricate details that come up as they come up. When I do heart work with my clients, we work through a 6-step process. And for each and every person through that 6-step process, different things come up. Different situations from the past come up. But what usually happens, and when I say different things come up, they are reminded of different, they are often, a lot of the work we do, we really dive into triggers, right? What causes different sensations to take place in your body? What causes you to get hot in certain places? What causes those panic attacks that you have? Right? We start to really break down and dissect your day-to-day life, the way you think, the way you go about your life. And then we start to navigate why do you do what you do. Right? And we do this through a 6-step process that could go over, 6 weeks. It could go over, 6 months. Sometimes we do it in intensive full day workshops, half day workshops, but we really start to dive into this, right? And one of the things that what I realize is a lot of times we cannot grow. And I see this a lot in relationships. A lot of people wonder why they struggle in relationships or they have such a big issue with their partner. And a lot of times I have found the issues that you're having with your partner, the issue that you're having with your children or your family members or your coworkers, the issues that you're having with them, they're just a mirror of what you're dealing with within yourself. It's just a mirror of how you feeling about yourself, what you thinking about yourself, how you're experiencing the world. So when we do heart work and I work with my clients, what we do is we sit down and we start to break down. We start to look at the blemishes that's in that mirror. We start to dissect that reflection, and we start to say, okay, what about this is not working? What about this is bothering you? What about this? What does this remind you of? When did you first experience this feeling, this thought, this sensation? We really start to get down in that, because I believe that is how we begin to unwrap and unravel and pluck off and pluck apart this nasty, vicious, icky thing that is fear. Because fear is controlling. Fear is causing us to live very limited lives. We want to blame the government. We want to blame our moms. I used to blame my mom and my dad. Let me tell y'all something. I love my parents, but I hated my parents. As much as I get on live and talk about how much I miss my mama, that was my best friend, that was the truth when she died. But that was not the truth 4 years ago. That was not the truth. I'll say that wasn't the truth 5 years ago. That wasn't the truth 6 years ago. It definitely wasn't the truth 20 years ago. It wasn't the truth 30 years ago. I didn't trust my parents. I didn't feel safe with them. I didn't feel like I could honestly express myself. I didn't feel like I could tell the truth. So what did that mean? That mean I went through life pretending. That means I went through life as a people pleaser. That's how I felt from the inside. But what I noticed is when I talk to other people, they got a different perception of me. I presented myself like I was very confident. I presented myself like I knew and I had it together. And don't get me wrong, I've always known I've been intelligent, and I've always loved to learn. However, that's not what I thought about myself. I felt very second class. I felt very not good enough. That's why I open up my book, Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, Your Journey to Living and Loving Again. If you haven't gotten that, I encourage you to get it. It is such an introduction to heart work, and it really helps you start to realize where fear has been gripping you because of things from your past that you might not even realize are still controlling you and bothering you each and every day, even if you don't consciously realize it. Right? And so when I realized how I was showing up, and how it really showed up was like in my marriage, I was very discontented with my husband. He need to do this, he need to do that. He's not showing up the way a lot of that, a lot of the he's not showing up the way I need him to show up, and all of that came from the fear that I had that I wasn't good enough to be a wife. The fear that I had that I wasn't good enough to be loved well. The fear that I had that I wasn't good enough to be a good mother, to raise good, healthy children. Would I have told anybody I had that fear? Absolutely not. I would say, I just want my kids to do good in school. I just want to push them so that they can do well. I just want to be happy in my marriage. I just want my husband to understand me and just hear me. Can anybody relate to that? Does this sound a little familiar? Right? So I just wanted to get on today because I wanted you to know that that fear can be very tricky. And I wanted you to know that fear is very limiting. And a lot of times it's not about you're not where you want to be in life. It's not because you don't have enough money. It's not because you don't have rich parents. It is because fear is controlling your life. The fear that you cover up from your past, it's controlling your life. And I just want to encourage you that you don't have to allow that fear to control you anymore. You can live outside of that fear. You can live away from that fear. You can move away from Fear City and live in a new place, in a free place. But you have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to confront the things you've been running from for the last 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. You cannot fix yourself by making a lot of money. You got to do your hard work. You cannot get the perfect wife and have the perfect children, or get the perfect husband and have the perfect children and think that's just going to fix your little life. No, it's not. If you're insecure, you're going to be insecure until you do the work. If you nasty and manipulative, you're going to be nasty and manipulative until you do the work. If you're a liar, a cheater, a stealer, or you're going to be like that until you do the work. I don't care how much you work on the aesthetics. it's not going to change who you are, and it's more so not going to change why you're doing what you're doing. But once you confront what you're doing, once you confront the enemy, and once you confront that terrible thing, those terrible things that cause you, why do you go so hard? Why do you always have to get it right? Why is perfection your thing? Why you don't mind rushing and bulldozing over people even when people try to tell you slow down, be patient, take your time? Fear. And as a heart coach, that's why I'm really passionate about growing this community, growing our heart tribe. And I'm really asking y'all to help me do that, because if you know of anybody that could benefit from this type of content, I have over almost 700 videos talking about these topics, because I am committed to us healing. And as a heart coach, this is what I do. We're going to grow and cultivate heart equity, personal, relational, and financial wealth through authentic living, right? And I believe that having these powerful conversations are what moves the needle and what causes us to live very transformed lives. So I just encourage you to lean in. Lean into that fear. Don't run from it. Don't allow that trigger to keep you stuck. But walk by faith and not by sight. Trust God and trust the process. I promise you, if you heal your heart, you will transform your life. I love y'all. I'll be back live again soon. So subscribe to the channel, add your notifications so that we can keep going live together. And like I said, anybody, if you could benefit from this, share this with anyone that you think can. Let's keep growing together. Happy and Merry Christmas to you and your family as well, Danielle, and everybody in our heart tribe. I love y'all. Happy Merry Christmas. Happy Merry New Year. This is our year. God bless y'all. We talk soon.